Hello there everybody, my name is JerDude here today doing another video reacting to some of my old content. I've been on YouTube for almost 6 years now, so there is quite the massive library of things to watch, make fun of, cringe at. Well, actually a lot of my content in the past was always good, like the really early stuff. Not the best, but I think I'm a pretty good YouTuber overall, I'll say. But anyways, the reason I'm making this, the reason I had the idea to come back, and I think this is the 4th time I've done a video like this, is because I've been thinking about what do I want to do with this channel for the next while, as I don't want to just wait for Titanfall 3 to come around until I start making more videos, again, like much more often. So, to get some inspiration, watching some old videos of mine, seeing what I used to do, and yeah, that was kind of why I thought, hey, let's do this, reacting to some old videos. So this is not, whoops, no, don't have that open. We're gonna start off with a video called, Could Titanfall 2 Become the Most Popular Shooter? Uploaded on March 8th, 2016. So not super long ago. I mean, I guess, how long ago was that? 20 months? Yeah, 20 months ago. Almost 21. Anyways, well, 20 and a half, whatever. So, yeah, of course, right before Titanfall 2 was officially announced, I believe it was April of 2016 when the first teaser released, and then the official reveal happened in June. I joined Titanfall Legends in June of this year. Well, this year here with the video, Titanfall 2 releasing, of course. So let's hop in, see what I was saying about Titanfall 2 becoming the most popular shooter. Unfortunately, that was not the case. Hopefully for Titanfall 3. Let's hop into it. New videos Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific. Never follow that schedule. Never followed any sort of schedule.
Hello there, everybody. My name is JerDude. Today here with a Titanfall 2 audio commentary.
What's with the tone, Jeremy? This was not that long ago. Hello there, everybody. JerDude here. My voice has really changed, I think, over the time. Like, this is how I talk in conversation. A lot of people ask me if this is a fake voice. It's not. But I guess my voice, my tone was still kind of all over the place for a while, and by this point, I still hadn't quite figured out how I talk. I mean, once again, I'm not forcing this, but I guess this is just how I talk. Maybe I was sick at the time or something. This just sounds so weird.
Going to be briefly discussing my thoughts and hopes and just general discussion about the game. Hopefully you guys will be able to continue the conversation of this video down below in the comments after I have finished. With that being said though, I also want to briefly address the gameplay. This is some old...
What is this? What is this voice? What is happening? I was watching some early Titanfall Legends videos that I did, and I sound very similar to right now. What, was there a massive change in like 3 months?
Starting off with the initial downfall of the original game, I think the lack of content, and I've said this time and time.
Yeah, still agree with that.
I know a lot of people agree with this as well. It's just, well, yeah, the lack of content, the lack of things.
It's a lot better in Titanfall 2, but I gotta be honest, I still feel like there should have been a lot more weapons, at least for certain categories. I mean, I think for assault rifles and for SMGs, it's fine, but snipers, shotguns... I mean, the Grenadier is pretty good, I guess. Snipers, I guess, should be more overall. More incentives to regen is another thing that I don't know if I talk about it in this video, but I still think there should be a reason for people to want to play over the long term, even more so than now, besides just unlocking camos and getting credits for just advocate gifts. So, we're using this as a little discussion piece here in the future for Titanfall 3, I suppose.
Well, if you have too many weapons, there becomes a point where in just one set of class, like an assault rifle, like an AK-47 might become very comparable to an AK-74U or something like that.
Yeah, I still stand by that. I will say that there definitely doesn't seem to be any weapons that are like copies of themselves in Titanfall 2, with the exception, of course, of the Wingman and Wingman Elite, the R201 and the R101, but I mean, well, those weapons, they have the same name. They're trying to just be a variant of them. What I'm saying here is having like 2 weapons that are completely different aesthetically, and they're not related, except they perform the same, which is something Titanfall has never done. But a big thing is there's just not too many weapons in general. Once again, a lot more in Titanfall 2, but I still think to get the general public over, maybe a little more.
There is going to be a campaign, like an actual campaign in this, which I think is going to be fantastic. I'm very excited for it. The Modern Warfare franchise is probably my favorite FPS campaign of all time. Absolutely adored the Modern Warfare storyline. Camos would be incredible. It's not that hard to do, and then introducing a camo shop of some sort in terms of a random drop comparable to CSGO, I think would be great. You're seeing that pop.
Okay, at that point, I would be fine with that still to this day. I mean, we have advocate gifts, which was random, but you don't pay anything for them, you're just giving them. Well, you can purchase some of them right now with credits. Actually, with this upcoming update, you can purchase all of them, or you will be able to. Yeah, like a cosmetic loot box wouldn't be bad. I mean, if you want to get some more advocate gifts, and say that was a way you could pay like a couple dollars to get a few of them. There's a loom and gloom of people being worried that there's going to be a ton of microtransactions, and I'm kind of a part of that. I definitely do have some apprehension in regards to that subject. Doing something like that wouldn't be too bad, but hey, at least, I mean, we got camos now.
Just keep it strictly to camos.
Yeah.
Maybe even having like Titan camos would be great too, or
we got camos on everything.
Heck, I really don't care,
yeah.
But some personality to your class or your character, I think, would be great. Vince Zampella might have been Abby Happy. I don't know, but somebody at Respawn, might have been Respawn themselves, officially said, we do not support competitive play, which at the time was like, well, why would you even say that? Like, it was so crazy.
I'm sorry. This is gonna be like a half-an-hour long video if I keep pausing like this. I still think competitive needs to be something that Respawn cares about a little more. Now, I will say, much prefer and definitely put the public first, but still have a little more support for the competitive scene. It's been a big thing in our community discussing whether the competitive scene should have, well, with the skill gap, the skill ceiling, whatever you want to call it, it's not big enough for Titanfall 2. It honestly bugs me quite a bit, and I love Frothy Omen, but when he did that whole Project Nessie video, I was like, no, thank you. You need to be sure that everybody else is first, but the competitive scene is a small side of most games. So, I mean, I love Frothy so much, and I'm hoping to actually play with him pretty soon. That'd be fun to do. Catch up with that guy. Even throwing 1 or 2 events officially sponsored or just hosted by Respawn would be awesome, but to support that community. But just show some love for the competitive scene.
In the original game, there was still kind of a competitive scene that was around for a while, but especially as the main popularity, the general population dropped off, the competitive scene didn't really last too long.
Well, and that's another thing too. It's just because the general population isn't that big, so an even smaller subsect, the competitive scene, obviously can't flourish with lower general players. So that's what I'm saying. I'm sure anyone who says the competitive community needs more support isn't straight up saying, don't care about the public and the casual players. No, absolutely. Casual players needs to be the absolute priority. To increase the general player base, then comes the competitive scene. And also, just while on this topic, one thing I've mentioned before and kind of intentionally mess up my own gameplay a little bit. I mean, okay, first off, I gotta say that I'm not an exceptional Titanfall player, but sometimes the live commentaries I put out, it's like below average of what I do a lot of the times, and part of that is that I think showing nothing but incredibly insane, fast-moving gameplay can be harmful for newer players coming in. I know people are going to say, Titanfall, it's not a competitive game. There's not, well, just as I've been talking about, there's not a huge skill ceiling, but showing nothing but incredible slide hopping can be kind of dangerous to the general growth, just to people first trying to look at it, or they think they have to do all the crazy stuff to even do well in the game, which is not true. I think when the community consists of only top-tier players, that can be a problem. I love everybody in the community, but I don't know, these are just thoughts of me. This is going to be a very long video. If you're hanging out for the entirety of this, thank you so much. When I don't script my content, I sometimes get a bit convoluted, and I also often forget some major points. I just want to say here while I'm editing, of course, every game values top-tier gameplay. I mean, that's what the competitive scene is all about, watching the best of the best. However, I guess I'm trying to more so get to the point that I wish there was more YouTubers in general, that not everyone was showing off crazy cool gameplay, and there are some people out there, but I'm just saying that for the casual person, when they look up Titanfall 2 for the first time and they see nothing but this crazy gameplay, they may think, I can never do that, so I'm not even going to give this game a try. So I'm not trying to offend anyone. I mean, keep in mind, I literally have an entire series dedicated to top plays. I don't know, this video turned into much more of a discussion piece, and the next part will be as well, so I hope you're enjoying it so far.
The movement in the game sometimes gets slowed down by little edges, or sometimes like if a plant is sticking out or like a little pole sticking out on the side of the wall.
This is a lot better in Titanfall 2.
And it just absolutely destroys your momentum.
Except for crash site.
That was kind of infuriating in the game. I never really addressed it. If you really think about it, Titans in the original game were pretty much just as good, and in my opinion even better than pilots. I know I personally usually, maybe not all the time, but generally did a whole lot better in the Titans as just being a pilot.
This is why I support the whole hero system with the Titans, maybe with a little more customization. But then if you saw with Monarch, and as we have seen, there's become a meta for Monarch and her upgrades, but with the hero system, it's definitely changed the way it works. Balance between pilots and Titans, much better in Titanfall 2.
Tweaking it, I don't know if you need to nerf it drastically. I don't know what you would do.
Titans,
slow them
I think,
down
are weaker in
a
Titanfall
bit,
2.
which, like, what could that mean exactly? I mean, I don't know what physically making them slower, but making them less powerful in some situations I think would be great, because a lot of the times it was like, well, why should I?
At least there's
not
different vulnerabilities
when I have a lot more armor, I'm a lot more safe. I don't know. I think the Titans should be kind of balanced a little bit more than they were originally in the first game. I really think that Titanfall can be a massive franchise that'll stick around and start to build a legacy and be known as one of the great franchises, in my opinion. So with that being said, though, that is everything. Once again, please comment down below, and I will see you very soon, hopefully, for some Titanfall 2 news. And whenever the trailer drops, of course, I will cover that. I'm sure there'll be a lot more information around E3, and as the game gets closer and closer, more news will come in, and expect more videos about Titanfall 2. So, have yourself a great day.
Well, you ended up taking over Titanfall Legends very shortly after this. Oh, so okay, the next video we're gonna react to in a moment here. Forgot I made a playlist. So yeah, I think a lot of that still applies to Titanfall 2. Now there has been some improvements to appeal to a wider audience that the competitive scene is pushed against now. I'm not a video game developer. A lot of the things I'm saying here and even back then, it's not all as black and white, and to do this and everything's gonna be great. I mean, I have faith in Respawn, but the game still needs some things to be different to appeal to a massive audience. While of course the release date of Titanfall 2 was a big part of the poor, or at least less than expected sales. And of course I'm saying this through nothing but love for the series, as I want it to become a massive success, as I love the game. And it's awesome that I get to be at the forefront of it with having Titanfall Legends, the biggest dedicated channel to Titanfall, and then JerDude also in the mix with a lot of Titanfall focused content. We'll have to wait and see. After Titanfall 3 has been out for a year, maybe I can come back and watch this video. Do Reactception. Okay, next video we're going to take a little break from Titanfall. There's a Titanfall video coming up next after this, but does video game violence cause real life violence? School project. Yeah, for a school project, put this video together and completely forgot it existed. And I don't know why it'd be memorable. It only has 87 views, and 8 likes, 0 dislikes. Okay, maybe I was spitting some truth in here. I don't know why I made this project or what class it was for. Can't recall at all. So we're just gonna hop into it and see what I was talking about.
Vicious, violent video games.
The old watermark, old logo.
With names like Bulletstorm.
Ooh.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yikes.
Mortal Kombat.
What?
And Splatterhouse.
What's that game?
Corrosive influence of a violent-oriented world.
Violence in video games has become one of the most debated topics recently, especially in the last couple of decades.
Should I like watch this on 0.5 speed, 0.75? I forgot 0.75 is an option now. Was that recently added? It must have been. I don't recall it.
Due to the fact of how realistic they become. In fact,
honestly, that's like still a little too fast. That's gonna sound not good to listen to, like in terms of the quality. I used to talk very fast for a very long while. And by this point, I've purposely slowed it down. I will say I did make a very big effort to talk much slower, and I sometimes over-enunciate words, but also under-enunciate. There's a weird mixture nowadays, but I made a big effort to be much more understandable because this was a big problem for a while, and this was already like almost 2 years into making YouTube videos. Well, closer to a year and a half. Maybe this was the trick with this video. I talk so fast that my teacher had to give me an awesome mark.
September 17th of this year, and on day one of its total sales, it made $800 million and sold 11.21 million copies. To compare to this summer's biggest blockbuster was Iron Man 3, and in its first week of sales, and once again, Grand Theft Auto 5 made $800 million on its first day of sales. Iron Man 3 made a grand total of only $372 million, which I'm putting in quotation marks. And to compare this to a movie, once again,
I remember I had to be so
fastest movie to ever
cautious
make $1
with
billion
the gameplay I was showing,
Avengers,
because
which made
this is
$1 billion
classroom setting.
in
I can't
19
show
days,
people getting
and the
shot
game
up
that
and
previously
such. So
hold this
it's a lot
record
of
for
driving,
$1
I
billion,
think.
the fastest was Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
I'm just saying,
and as I said,
starting the video with off video games,
massive
massive industry.
It right now is the best-selling
I think it
action
just
adventure
passed
game
like
in
80
24
million
hours,
sales in
best-selling
total.
video game in 24
And they made
hours,
more money from
best-selling
shark cards than
entertainment
the
property
video
to
game
gross $1 billion.
sales of the actual game, which is crazy.
Highest gross in video games for 24 hours. As of early October 2013, the biggest YouTuber on YouTube.com is named PewDiePie. He's a video game channel.
Whoa. 14. I mean, this was 2013. This was more than 4 years ago now, but I guess it has been a long time. Back when 14 million was the biggest. I mean, of course, it's still PewDiePie at, I think, coming up on 60 million. I haven't checked in a while, but okay, I don't know. It's an interesting thing. And there's that 301 views. Every video used to always be stuck there for a long while when it was first uploaded.
If the game is rated M for mature, you have to be over the age of 17 here in Canada. I know alongside a lot of other countries, it's a similar sort of thing. But anyways, that's the only bill right now. If you want to purchase an M-rated game, you have to be over the age, you have to be an adult to buy a violent video game. Another story that happened recently that actually happened on the launch of Grand Theft Auto 5 on the launch night on September 17th of this year. It happened in the UK. A man was beaten to death with a brick and stabbed in order for the perpetrator to get a copy of Grand Theft Auto 5 to play it for himself. Now that is pretty messed up, but anyways, yeah, so I think for this story, it's not actually the content that influenced him, because obviously he hasn't even played the game yet. Then again, he could have always played some other video games, such as previous Grand Theft Auto titles or other violent video games. But anyways, this story, it's not the content that's persuading him, it's just more him wanting to actually get a hold of it. I think that this could happen with any other launch thing. I don't know, maybe it would happen with a book. I don't think anything would happen with a book like that. But anyways, that's just a dumb example. And the final story.
I can't believe this was like a school project. Like, I presented this as a typical video, like talking to just the commenters, you guys, the audience in that regard, but okay, I love it.
If you do look up different articles, different stories, you will find that a lot of the times the shooters they have some problems up in the cranium station, and also just
some problems up in the cranium station. Problems up in the cranium station is just, that's a classic line right there. I mean, I always had to put a bit of a twist on even some of the darkest of topics.
Do this with me. Think of a video gamer. Do you think of someone who has a rack of guns in their closet, or do you think of someone who's maybe a little socially awkward, someone who's in their basement, has a headset on, sort of chilling in front of the TV, playing some video games, hanging out with some friends? I mean, when you think of a video gamer, you don't typically think of someone who's a violent killer.
Yeah, that's been something that, I mean, I don't talk about the fact that I'm Christian too often on my channel. Well, I mean, I can't really make it apply to a lot of the content that I do. But yeah, that's always been something I've thought about, is that, I mean, a lot of the stuff is very violent, but I'm not doing it myself. Honestly, I don't spend too much time thinking about it nowadays, but it's definitely a thing. Alright, so that was, does video games cause violence, and does video game violence cause real life? You get it. I totally messed all of that up. Okay, I mean, interesting. Like, I've done so many different types of things, of course, pretty much everything gaming related, but yeah, that was a school project. Didn't seem as professional as I recalled it. I mean, some of it was with the editing. It was alright. Check this video out. I just wanted to mention this, as we're not going to react to this video here, but all of a sudden, earlier this year, this video went, that was, by the way, this was uploaded March 6th, 2015. 2.5 years ago, more than that. Up until earlier this year, 2017, 2 years, about 1,000, maybe 2,000 views in total. But then all of a sudden, it's gone up to 46,000 views. Why? Where did that come from? I mean, like, there's more comments, there's new comments, as you can see. It seemed to be around 7-8 months ago. A lot of these comments, like, where did all these people come from? It's so weird. I don't know. I just want to point this out in one of my videos. This is definitely one of my most popular uploads on JerDude now, so I don't know. I don't understand it. We're gonna conclude here with a Titanfall series I did, where it was more so focused around me. I would just give you all updates about what I was thinking. There's always a Q&A section, if I recall, and the series was called Sit Down, and it was somewhat popular for a while. I mean, I remember I did a few of them, and they always got over 1,000 views, I think. I could be totally wrong. I think a lot of them I've privated at this point, but let's check out, see what I was saying. Mostly because I saw the title DLC a ripoff. I want to see what I said. Because in the first game, Titanfall 1, there was a season pass, and it kind of segmented the community. Well, it definitely did. And, well, let's see what I said.
Stand by for Titanfall.
Hey, always love that intro. Always do.
Hello there everybody, my name is JerDude, back again with you guys, yet another audio commentary. If you're brand new to the channel, it is highly appreciated if you were to hit that subscribe button, as I do upload daily Titanfall content.
Yeah.
With that being said, let's...
I used to upload so many videos when Titanfall 1 first released. Like, there was not many people doing Titanfall videos after like the first week of launch, because people just stopped playing, and unfortunately, big YouTubers stopped covering it. And all that I can remember for people that were in the community after Titanfall launched was, well, Titanfall Legends left Jacksonville with the original channel. He took it down very shortly after the game released, I think. And then the only other person I can recall to this day is Frothy, who was around at the time. I remember that our subscriber counts were like really close for a very long while. And I was like, okay, here's my #1 competition. I tried to do some more guide-based content, but Frothy's just so much more analytical, even to this day. I mean, his approach is thoroughly explaining everything. Meanwhile, I'm trying to tell the same information, except in a much shorter time, much more easier to consume. Like, honestly, I don't have a clue who else was around. I can't remember any other names besides Frothy Omen back in the Titanfall 1 community days in terms of YouTube content. And yeah, that's literally the only one. So, I mean, I always loved Frothy, always had a lot of respect for him, as he does some really great stuff. JerDude editing here. I just remembered that Unknown Soldier was back around, and he was someone I was aware of as well. I guess I just forgot I've been recording this.
Welcome, guys, to the first episode called Sit Down.
Oh, first episode, watching the premiere.
It's gonna be called Sit Down, but it will be going up every single Saturday. And first off, this is a reboot from the series that I did, well, that was called Sit Down, and I believe I did that about a year ago, and obviously a ton of you guys weren't around then, and
hold on. I thought this was the original. I did another version of this? I don't recall that series at all. What? This was the reboot of... I know I did another reboot of this series in 2015, but I guess I started in 2013. Original series. Probably didn't do too many, because I don't recall that at all. Then we had this series. Definitely remembered it. This run. And then in 2015, I brought it back for like a couple episodes where it was a real-life vlog using the webcam, talking to it. But okay, I didn't know that. Don't recall the original at all.
So I get a comment about this probably once a week, maybe a couple times a week. Jeremy, you talk fast. Yes, I know. I'm working on that right now. I'm actually trying to talk a little bit slower here in this video.
It was a long process.
Okay. I mean, sometimes I'll be like, yeah, as soon as I finish recording a commentary, I'll think, yes, I talk slow this time. Then I'll watch it over while I'm editing it, and I'll be like, no, I still talk super fast. And yes, I do.
Yeah, you be fast. So I will say that part of my voice, of course, I kind of have like I try to do have a radio tone to my voice. Once again, I'm not forcing it anymore, it just became natural. But as my voice was still deepening at this point, and I was still going through changes, I tried to force myself to speak like I am today, where I've finally gotten to. But yeah, I would do this. Like, I didn't talk like this in real life. Oh yeah, oh yeah. What was worse, my old self or me just right now making fun of my old self?
I still do stutter quite a bit in real life.
Still do have a stutter. It's not anywhere near as bad.
I'm going to be moving sometime in the next 3 months, which is kind of a big thing.
Oh yeah.
I've been living, well, my family's been living here for the last 4 years now, and the whole situation is...
I miss the little place. It was an awesome setup.
Who owns this place privately, and she decided to rent it out. We saw an ad on Kijiji, I think, or something like that. Then we moved out here, and we've been living here for the last 4 years. Paying monthly rent, and she owns it personally, but apparently she is going to be selling it. We are planning to move to Los Angeles in 2 years from now, but I guess we're gonna...
Oh, I wish. 2 years from now. That was 2016. It's almost 2018. Still not in Los Angeles. Still want to go out there to continue to pursue entertainment, but before the decade is over is just the plan at this point, at least for me. But yeah, this house I lived in at the time, when I was recording this, and for the 4 years prior, I definitely have some of the best memories overall. I mean, it was a very long time. My YouTube channel started here, and first couple of years of doing YouTube all took place, first 2.5 years, I guess, all took place in that old house.
Video sort of focused around just thoughts that I have or things I want to share with you guys.
That was a nice skill.
An entire commentary. But with that being said, let's head on to the next.
It's not in my own. It's not even my own gameplay. I just realized this is Grumpy Etha's gameplay. He, I think, was the person I went to most often whenever I was rushing to get a commentary up, which I don't know why I was rushing, not like the news video, but I used their gameplay quite a lot, as it was much better than mine at the time. Shout out to Grumpy Etha.
And the final and third topic, which I think I'm going to make another video on this once the DLC drops, but...
Oh, here we go, finally talking about the DLC.
Discuss it because I don't really have a ton to say because we have not seen the DLC yet here, the first DLC called Expedition for Titanfall, but it is based off the comment from Duncan Clark, and he asks, quote, "I felt kind of stupid buying a DLC that only has 3 maps and nothing else. It really isn't worth it, but I will buy it because I really like Titanfall and try to commit to any game I buy, unless I get it off a Steam sale for 99 cents. What do you think of the value of this pack?" Unquote.
I mean, it was an alright deal, $25. Was this American or Canadian? I can't recall. Well, it's probably Canadian because the Canadian dollar was a lot closer to the US's at the time. Anyways, that doesn't really matter. I mean, $25 for 9 maps. If you think about a Call of Duty, they get typically 12 multiplayer maps for $50. Then they also get zombie maps and such. Let's see what I said. I'm going to conclude this video by doing a little talk about if paid or free DLC is better, especially for Titanfall. But let's see what I said at the time about the value.
Would obviously be $30, and so, well, let's go back to the first DLC map pack. Is 3 maps worth $10? I think so. I really do think so. Well, I don't know, actually. I'm thinking about this because
I think so. I really do think so.
They have 4 multiplayer maps, and then for Ghosts, they have an Extinction map. Well, I think you get a lot of bang for your buck, especially with Battlefield DLC. But now looking at Titanfall, where it is a $10 purchase, and which is about $3.30 or $3.33 per map. Depends on who you are. If you really like Titanfall, I would obviously get it. Or, well, I think you should get it. Obviously, I'm going to be getting Titanfall, covering it here on the channel once it does drop. But if I was more of a casual player for Titanfall, I don't think I would personally pick it up, because
there is the problem with the first game's DLC, I suppose. Yeah, looking back, I don't know if it was worth it. I mean, the maps, most of them are really good, and I guess I'll tie in, I don't know what else I'm gonna say here, but what I loved about the first game's DLC is that it was totally new content. Of course, it had to be. It was the first game. They couldn't do map remasters back then. I honestly enjoyed pretty much all of them, except for like Swampland. I was never a big fan of. But then with free DLC, you get what happened with Titanfall 2, which was quite a bit of content, but all of the maps except for one were remasters. I never want to sound ungrateful, but honestly, I really wish we would have seen more original stuff, as Glitch is such a fantastic map, and especially being a veteran player of Titanfall, just playing on old maps being brought back to Titanfall 2, I mean, it's fun. I generally prefer the first game's maps over the second, but still, I always want to see new stuff, and that is guaranteed with paid content. But then, as I just mentioned, for casual players, I was like, maybe this isn't the best deal. So what happened, and maybe not exactly for that reason, is that some players would buy the DLC, then others would not, and that really segmented the community in terms of matchmaking. And as there was already a smaller player base, by this point, this was, what, May? And, I mean, of course, for the rest of the DLCs being released, yeah, May. Just to segment a small group of players to where some can play with each other, but then others can't, and you'll never see some players because they own the DLC or whatever, vice versa, if they did own the DLC, and it just created a mess in that regard. I mean, for Titanfall's size, and for how much praise Titanfall 2 has gotten for its DLC system, I recently said in a video that I think I would be fine with paid DLC in terms of maps and such, but I'm going to retract that statement. I think that for Titanfall, unless this was like a mega series, free content, at least maps, is the way to go, but I just really want to see original stuff in Titanfall 3 for DLC, not just a bunch of remasters again. And I think if Titanfall 3 sells very well and continues to be popular, we could see a lot more original stuff.
Looking at the maps so far, the maps are looking really promising. I mean, War Games and Runoff, we have information on both those videos, but there are going to be annotations as well as a link down in the description if you guys want to go check out those videos. But
those really big annotations on the top.
Sure, that's all I'm saying. I'm saying I would definitely consider it, but I don't think immediately that it's going to be worth the $10 for each DLC. I'll add that to the end of this video.
Getting carried away by a pterodactyl or whatever those were, I forget, but that was so cool. There was more going on in the maps generally in Titanfall 1, which, like a grunt's getting carried away on a flying creature. Isn't that awesome? Check out this old outro, this April Showers music. Okay, well actually, hold on. Analyze everything. Don't use Facebook anymore, never promote that. Old Twitter handle. Old Twitch. All of this is irrelevant nowadays. Got a real mix of fonts. That's never good. Got my old thumbnail style. Yeah. I want to figure out a new thumbnail style. By the way, I just purchased Adobe Creative Cloud, which includes Photoshop, so I want to figure out some new stuff with that. Then we have my Grand Theft Auto 5 channel, Lame Games. I did with my friend JerDude. Yeah, I guess it was at this time for like 4 months or so, maybe not even, from April to July, I think, of 2013. Had a funny moments, Grand Theft Auto 5 channel. May as well open it up here. I forgot I'm on the Titanfall Legends account, not subscribed. But, yeah, we did quite a few videos back here. Well, okay, I guess did 11 or 13. Huh. Classic, yeah. JerDude and JerDude. Anyways, that's everything. This was such a long video. Thanks so much for watching. My name is JerDude. Once again, I'm just still trying to figure out what I want to do. I mean, I'm really learning, trying to learn Adobe Premiere Pro and After Effects and how I can do some more crazy edits and improving the overall quality of my content, and Titanfall Legends, working on some stuff with that. Once again, not going to just wait till Titanfall 3 to come around, even though I know Titanfall has been the biggest reason for my channel growth on JerDude. I want to expand and try to bring in a new audience with some other games as well. And hopefully I'm able to do that. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your day. And my name has been JerDude. Goodbye.